Okay, so if you've ever felt, limited, like you're stuck in a box someone else made for you, whether that's cultural, professional, systemic, it's that heavy feeling, fighting for your own definition. And for so many people, especially Black youth today, it feels like the world is actively trying to impose those limits, to silence your voice or dictate your story. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think. What if that pressure, that struggle, what if it wasn't a stop sign, but maybe a catalyst? What if those exact pain points you feel are actually the raw material for your own prophecy?
That really is the core of what we want to dig into today. Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission here is to extract like a time-tested blueprint for self-mastery. And we're looking at the life of someone who literally shattered chains, physical and mental ones. Olaudah Equiano. He's one of the incredible heroes we profile in Unstoppable You. 50 quotes from Marcus Garvey to inspire greatness. So we're analyzing how Equiano's life gives us this foundational formula for transformation. It's a formula rooted in what we call the necessary alignment, mental clarity, that unshakable purpose, and just relentless perseverance. It's kind of a roadmap, really, for becoming unstoppable, handed down from Equiano's time right into Garvey's philosophy.
Okay, let's unpack that journey then. Equiano's story. It's not just history, is it? It feels like a masterclass in, well, adaptation. He was born in present-day Nigeria around 1745. His early life, unimaginable horror. Kidnapped, enduring the Middle Passage. He was treated as property, moved all over the Americas, the Caribbean. But here's the crucial part, I think. What he did while he was enslaved, he didn't just survive.
Yeah.
It's like he treated the awful reality of the slave trade as this strange, involuntary education. He was always observing, learning, picking up languages, absorbing cultures. It seems he understood that knowledge was currency.
Right. And that fluency, whether it was language or culture, was a strategic advantage. And that strategic mind, that's what leads to this seemingly impossible feat. Equiano purchased his own freedom at age 21.
Wow.
Just think about the audacity of that goal back then. It wasn't handed to him, he earned it.
How? How did he even manage that?
Well, through unrelenting perseverance, yes, absolutely. But also strategic, really calculated action. He developed skills that were in high demand, became an expert sailor, a merchant's assistant. He used his literacy, his language skills to get commissions on trade deals, dealing in rum, sugar, textiles, you name it. And he took those small, hard-won commissions and saved every single penny until he finally amassed the 40 pounds needed to buy himself out.
40 pounds.
Yeah.
It's such a profound refusal of victimhood. He didn't just wait for the system to magically change. He navigated it, using the very rules of commerce and literacy that the system, ironically, respected.
Exactly. And that action reveals the structure we really want you to focus on, that alignment of the mind, the purpose, and the perseverance.
Let's break that down.
Okay, so the mind, in this context, that's the belief system. Equiano achieved what you could call radical self-definition. He fundamentally rejected the institutional idea that he was less than human. He used literacy, self-education, his growing understanding of the world, all to empower himself internally, long before he was physically free.
Right. And that belief system, that internal strength, it directly fueled his purpose, which you call the heart of the operation. His own quest for freedom quickly became something bigger, didn't it?
It absolutely did. His purpose expanded. It became about leveraging his survival, yes, for his own dignity, but also to expose the brutal truth about slavery. And, just as importantly, to celebrate African resilience and intellect.
Which brings us to perseverance, the hands, you called it, the action.
That's right. After getting his freedom, he kept going. He was a successful merchant and traveled the world. But his biggest action was truly revolutionary. He wrote the interesting narrative of the life of Olaudah Equiano in 1789.
And that wasn't just a memoir.
No, not at all. It was a devastating piece of abolitionist literature. It challenged the most powerful economic system of the time, using his own lived experience as undeniable proof.
His ability to just forge his own destiny, going from property to this celebrated author and activist, it perfectly sets up Marcus Garvey's philosophy generations later. Equiano really understood that liberation starts in the mind.
It does. And that mental liberation connects us straight to the wisdom we find in Unstoppable You's. The quote that really anchors this lesson directly from Marcus Garvey is this: "Imagination is the key to your dreams."
Okay, imagination. Now, a lot of people hear that and maybe dismiss it, like it's just wishful thinking or daydreaming.
Yeah.
But Equiano's story suggests it's, well, much more strategic than that.
Yes.
So when you're literally in chains, facing daily terror, how do you stop your imagination from just being escapism? How did Equiano keep his vision grounded and actionable?
That's the critical difference. Garvey taught that imagination isn't just picturing some vague future, it's strategic pre-visualization.
Oh,
Equiano had to use his imagination to picture not just being free, but the actual steps to get there.
wow. Okay.
The commissions he needed, the risks he had to take, the savings targets he had to hit, his willingness to imagine beyond his horrific circumstances literally created pathways that otherwise would have stayed completely invisible. Can you imagine standing on the deck of a ship, legally defined as property, but mentally? You're already calculating your escape. You're planning your global abolitionist campaign. That future vision, that's what sustained his grit. It gave meaning to every tough trade, every saved shilling. That's strategic imagination. It turns wishful thinking into a powerful, sustained, driving force.
And it ties back perfectly to that alignment we talked about. His mental clarity let him see beyond the limits the world tried to put on him. His purposeful living meant using his unique story for the collective good for abolition.
Right.
And his perseverance was that daily grind. The grit needed to negotiate, save, and eventually publish a book that changed the world.
And that insistence on self-representation, on agency, that's the antidote, really, to the feeling of powerlessness we sometimes see today. Equiano defined his own worth internally. He didn't ask the system for validation. He demanded recognition through his actions, through his voice.
Which brings us right to the modern parallels, doesn't it? Equiano faced systemic identity erasure, oppression, very similar in some ways to the hurdles young Black creators and professionals face now.
Yeah.
But if Equiano's weapon was his memoir, what's the equivalent weapon today?
Well, think about digital storytelling.
Yeah.
Equiano's book traveled slowly by ship. Today, your story, maybe it's a podcast, a viral art piece, a digital movement, it can travel instantly. Your personal narrative, your specific truth, it serves that same revolutionary purpose.
Yeah.
Challenging oppressive systems, demanding accountability.
That's powerful. And his experience navigating different cultures as a free man, I think you mentioned that earlier.
Exactly. Being able to code switch, build rapport across different worlds, that's like the 18th century version of mastering different digital and professional spaces today. It just shows the strategic value of being versatile, of constantly learning. Equiano lived with such clear intention, making his life this revolutionary success story. So we really encourage you to apply that same three-part focus, mind, purpose, and perseverance right now. This is how you apply Garvey's wisdom. Make sure your dreams aren't just pictures, but actual, actionable roadmaps.
So here's the practical challenge for you listening. We want you to really reflect on Equiano's process and apply it to whatever obstacles you're facing right now. First, think about the mind. What's the specific mental chain? That limiting belief about your own talent, your capacity? What is it that you still need to break? What external definition are you maybe still accepting?
Second, identify your purpose. What specific vision are you holding back on? Maybe a creation, a career move, a piece of art. Holding back because you're afraid of what others might think. And remember, Equiano's purpose grew beyond himself. How could your vision also benefit your community?
And third, commit to perseverance. What's the small, maybe difficult daily action that's strategic saving, like Equiano? Or the extra hour of study? Maybe an uncomfortable conversation. What action will help you gather the resources, emotional, financial, whatever they are, to buy your freedom from that limitation?
Really try to channel Equiano's courage and Garvey's liberating wisdom. Choose clarity, live with that radical intention, and just persist until your life becomes your own blueprint for revolutionary success. That truly is the essence of self-mastery.
And real success, in the tradition of Garvey and Equiano, it's never just about you. It's always about building a collective future, rooted in self-determination, lifting others up by your own example. When your mind, your purpose, and your actions unite, you really are unstoppable.
Definitely. And don't miss next week. We're going to be profiling Paul Robeson, artist, activist, and absolute icon of courage. He, too, mastered this three-part focus, turning his incredible talent into a platform for global justice. The journey to Black greatness continues.